Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I am super unreasonably excited about today's show because today my very special guest is one of my best friends of all time, Michelle Root. And this is just such a treat for everybody today because Michelle is one of a kind. I have never hosted anybody on this channel quite like her. And so we're going to get into quite a bit of different topics today. Michelle, I just want you to say hi to everybody. I want everyone to hear your voice because they're going to hear me ramble for the next minute and a half. So I just want to give you the opportunity to say hi now.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. Thank you, Jenny, for having me. Obviously, this means the world to me. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you've given me the opportunity to come on your show and your channel today. So thank you, and I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Listen, we really have, you guys, we've been trying to do this for months and months now. And it's just one of those things, timing really works out. You know, when it's meant to happen, it happens. And the timing really couldn't be better for Michelle because she very recently, you guys, launched her very own business. And sky is the limit for her. I'm just so excited to promote her craft here, to talk about our own personal journey with magic. I know a lot of you, I have gotten a lot of messages from you guys asking me to delve more into my personal practices, my personal beliefs, as far as magic is concerned, because it is a topic that I have touched on. And I really can't think of anybody better to join me on this particular journey because Michelle and I have a very, very special bond. There's nobody else on the planet that I have this particular bond with, and the common thread between her and I is a primordial, ancient, limitless goddess energy that we call Hecate. And some of you have heard me make reference to Hecate on this channel as well as other channels that I have frequented. But today we're really going to get into our personal experiences with this primordial mother goddess, how she came to us, how she brought us together, and just what it's been like to be a daughter of Hecate, sisters in this craft, and what it means. And as you guys can see, Michelle has a beautiful figurine of Hecate in her background right now. And I'm repping her myself. I have my wheel of Hecate right here. Please don't look at my nails. Well, now you're going to.
She's like, oh.
Yeah. And Michelle has her very own wheel of Hecate on her pendant as well. So the goddess is never, she's never far. She's never not with us. So Hecate, I called you Hecate.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'll take it. That's cool.
She knows.
So, yeah. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to let everybody know how Hecate came into your life, how that whole process worked for you, and just, you know, have a good time with it. Let people know how awesome it is to be a witch.
Well, I second that. It is amazing. So many transformative things have happened in my life since rediscovering being a witch, because I've personally always been one. My mother is also new agey, but she's very, very much a traditional witch in my eyes, and I've always tried to suggest that to her, and she's one of those avid, like, don't call me a witch, don't say that about me. And I'm like, okay, Mom, whatever. You work with light energy, you teach me. She taught me shielding as a child to protect myself from bullying. She would always say, imagine this pure white light around you protecting your energy field. And I'm like 7 or 8, like, okay, Mom, what the like, what the hell? But now looking back, I realized that this whole time, you know, I've been taught these amazing, beautiful spiritual things. And now that I have a label, and, you know, I don't like to be labeled by things, but at the same time, it helps me define like what I'm about and what I mean, what I am. So I rediscovered my true calling back in 2014, I believe. No, 2013. I had, me and a friend, we had sporadically one day just popped into this occult shop, and we were like, let's go check it out. And in Washington State, that's where I'm from. And we walked in, we were looking at some books. I grabbed a book off the shelf and I opened it up, and it was I was having an issue at the place I was working at, and I think we were just kind of like, oh, let's find a spell to deal with this, kind of half joking. And I opened the book, and it was immediately the situation that I needed to be resolved right on the page that I'd opened to. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, whoa, this is really eerie. So at the same time, it was during Halloween, and at the same time, they were having a drawing at the place we were at, and I entered the drawing. It was to win this huge basket with all these cool occult gifts and stuff. And I was like, you know what, if I win this is going to be like a sign to me that this is like something that I need to explore. Sure enough, 3 or 4 days later, I get a call, Michelle, you won this basket out of like 50, 60 people. And so I'm like, okay, like this, let me see what this is about. So I started getting some books. I actually have one of the first books that I ever got. This is actually a limited edition.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, her Sacred Fires book. It has this specific edition is actually a rare copy. I actually got it from Half Price Books, and when I showed Sarita DSD, the author of the book, this cover, she's like, you know, that's a rare version, right? So, you know, this was one of the books. Yeah, this was one of the books, the first books that I ever got, and it just drew me in. It pulled me, you know, the writing, everything about it, and you know, the more that I just kind of explored, I was just directed more to her energy, you know, her underworld, dark, transformative energy. I'm a Scorpio, so obviously that resonates very, very loudly with me, you know, transforming, destruction, rebirth, regeneration. I was just really pulled in that direction. And then I started meeting other witches, other people in the community, and I actually, my first meeting with Hecate was, I was doing a ritual with these 2 individuals that I no longer speak to, but they told me that she came to them and wanted me to start honoring her more and learning more about her. So that's kind of how I began my journey. And I'll wait for more questions for you though, because I know this is, you know, formally structured a bit, and I can talk forever. So.
Oh, well, I hear you, and it's not formally structured. This, you guys, when I tell you, Michelle and I talk every day and have talked pretty much every day for the past like 4 years, pretty much. I mean, it's just been, and you know, as you were talking, and you mentioned winning this, you know, this raffle or this contest. I'm thinking, subtle, you know what I mean? Subtle. It's
right.
Very so
go ahead.
It is so in the style of the energy that is Hecate to be very in your face. You cannot ignore this. You cannot go any further without looking at this. And my experience of her has been incredibly similar. You know, and just so you guys, because I know I'm going to get the questions, but just so you guys know, Hecate, I have always identified myself as witchy. And we have this, especially now more and more in a really sort of volatile climate right now, as far as labels are concerned. The title witch takes on all of these stigmas that are really just quite inappropriate, no longer work anymore. So we are going to have to kind of fiddle with our language a little bit so that folks understand what it means to be a witch. To be a witch does not mean that you drink the blood of innocents, that you siphon energy from unsuspecting people. It's not about hexes, and that's not the world of the witch, okay? And I try to explain to people that to be a witch is to be fully aware of the cosmic magic that naturally runs through your veins. What you really have to do to become a witch is to let go of resistance. And that resistance has been put on you by society, in a lot of cases by your parents, by religion, by school. So really a witch, someone who can call themselves a witch, is in alliance with the natural energies that exist in their body and in the natural world. So, you know, we're not doing anything sketchy here, folks, and I don't want to freaking hear it, because it's, you know, it's your problem if you don't understand what that word really means. Now, there absolutely are people men and women alike, that do utilize this witch force for bad. Okay. They do, you know, all manner of horrible things, and they are truly a disgrace to the word witch. And we're not including them or that in this discussion. They just don't have a place here. Hecate would never stand for it. You know, Hecate is a protector. She is a defender. She is a way shower. And she certainly doesn't prey on innocence. It's always been about women and children, the downtrodden, those that need help, those that need to be uplifted. So, you know, I just really, it's a personal desire of mine for folks. This piece of hair is about to get clipped off. I'm going to go in the other room right now. I'm just going to storm out in a rage and just buzz that thing off. So
no, I absolutely agree, especially with the terminology of witch itself. Back to referencing my mom, the fact that she is the epitome of what it means to be a powerful spiritual woman, but absolutely vehemently rejects the word. Yeah. It's almost like we need to reclaim the word and own it and show its power rather than hiding from it and cowering from it, because I feel like there's a resurgence going on within the world, and, you know, the occult community. We're booming. Like, I've noticed in the last like 5 years, it's just this huge resurgence of all the pagan religions and faiths, you know, ATRs, Asatru, all the heathen religions. It's so beautiful to me to watch, but at the same time, I can see how, you know, instantly that would be demonized or as seen as the devil is taking over, you know, the world. And it's like, no, everybody's just returning back to their roots. They're getting in touch with what it used to be, what it should, in my opinion, should be. Something as simple as something that I do with nature is I compare situations that I have in my life to the flows of nature. So looking at the way a storm brews or a storm takes over something, sorry, I'm like,
no, I know what you mean. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, it's like I compare the two, like, okay, so if I throw this rock really hard into the lake, the ripples of the rock are going to just send these waves throughout the lake, right? But if I casually place the rock gracefully in the water, nothing happens. So the reason I'm referencing that is, like, in life, if you just barrel through and chaotically run into something, you're going to create all these, you know, insane waves that just ripple off throughout your life. But if you just ease into certain situations and, you know, educate yourself, just make your path a lot clearer, then it makes your life easier. So just simple things like that, where I look at how nature responds and reacts to things, and how I can take that knowledge from nature and apply it to my life. And those are simple things that a witch does. You know, simple things like, you know, influencing, you know, someone at the store to be nicer to you. Something so simple that it is so demonized constantly. And I see, you know, on your page and in your comments how you're advocating for us, and I can't say enough how much that means. And I know how hard you advocate for what you believe in, and this is definitely something that, you know, I'm so proud of you for how far you've come with everything, and I know that this is really dear to you. So yeah, I'm just, again, so excited.
No, this is so awesome. And that means the world to me. And you've been with me every step of the way. I mean, you guys, when Michelle and I first came into each other's lives, things were very different for both of us. Looks like my connection's a little sketchy here, but hopefully it levels out. Turbulence. You know, things were very different for both of us. We both had, you know, we had our worldviews. We were both going through issues, you know, family issues, all kinds of, you know, personal things. And it's almost as if these invisible threads, these commonalities between us, drew us together over space and time. And it was always Hecate. Hecate utilizes both of us in very different ways too. And hopefully we can get into it a little bit here. But, you know, there's no secret that we are in the middle of some of the most amazing, shocking times of Earth's timeline. And politically, yeah, and politically speaking, you know, Michelle and I have absolutely had our differences, and it was Hecate and our common intention and our common belief in a divine force that has really enabled her and I to have some difficult conversations about what's going on, because we do have we have some political differences. We have some differences about, you know, what's going on. But Hecate and our commonalities, she really challenged both of us to look at this from a completely different perspective and to try to see what is actually going on in our society, and how two women on perhaps different sides of the spectrum can actually, you know, hold strong, hold fast to what really matters. And so it's been a challenge, and it's been totally interesting. And Hecate has really just kept the two of us together, and she continues to work through us each and every day. I've become kind of protective about my belief in Hecate, and I don't talk about it as much as I would like to, because I'm in this world here teeter-tottering on QAnon, the Great Awakening, and, you know, we have a lot of Trump supporters that frequent my channel. As you know, I'm a Trump supporter. Michelle Root is not. And so we have had, you know, some interesting discussions about, well, why do you feel this way, and why do you feel this way? And we, you know, we give each other the wiggle room to really be honest about these things that really have pulled families apart, marriages apart. People are just losing their minds because of what is going on politically. And because I have worked in the, you know, the QAnon thing, the Great Awakening thing, there is a huge base of people that don't understand what that means. Okay, they're very motivated by traditional Christian beliefs, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But for me, somebody that represents the witch community, the good witch community, coming into a world where folks were very committed to misunderstanding the concept of witchcraft and the concept of cosmic magic, it's been a very difficult storm to navigate. And so Michelle has really helped me to refocus myself. You know, I am not just this, you know, MAGA girl. I am not just about the Great Awakening. I am all about all those things, including what it means to be a witch, what it means to be esoteric in a world that doesn't really understand what that means quite yet. So I'm so supremely grateful for all of Michelle's support and Hecate and what she has done for both of us. And I wanted to ask you, because I really wanted to get into this too, but well, first let me get your comment on how you feel about all that, and then I want to talk about her symbols, like the black hounds, the keys, the torches, because I know people are really interested in that. But so how has it been for you the past couple of years?
Well, well, meeting you when I first, you know, obviously when I first met you, things were very different in your career. You know, our lives were so different, like you said. And the thing that always comes to me whenever there's tension between us based on our views or our feelings about things is, I know the real you. Like, I know you behind the camera. I've spent hours on the phone with you. You know, I know your husband. I know my daughter has your daughter's clothes. Like, you send me things, and, you know, we're that close. And this is something, what I'm about to say is very, like, personal to my opinions, and I don't expect anyone else to resonate with it. But I believe some of the biggest, most transformative times that you can have with a person is during conflict. So if you can work through that, despite your views, like I don't try to change how you feel about things. You don't try to do that to me. We just express how we feel about it. We agree to disagree, and then we move on. And I don't feel like in our climate in America nowadays, like that's done a lot. Like people make hard lines, and they're like, nope, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to, fuck with it. And they just cut people off. And for me, I respect that way of thinking too, because I know that there's some things that people are just not willing to deal with when it comes to, Trump and the things that they believe in with him. But for me, I feel like I would be doing an injustice to myself by losing people that do matter to me just because they do hold a different opinion. If I know your heart and I know your soul beyond all the red tape and all the other stuff that may come with being human in a body, I know your intentions. I know that at the core of everything, you just want the best for the world. You just want the best for everybody, spiritually, mentally, physically. So I can respect your positions in life, and I'm glad that you respect mine. And I know that our friendship and our bond is deeper than anything that could be happening in this world. And if we were both sent here by Hecate to do the things that we're doing on this earth to help the earth move forward in a more positive way, then I can't let the distractions of the world get in the way of that,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I know that's not a popular view. A lot of people are like left or right, hard left or right, and that's their prerogative. But for me, a way that Hecate has always worked through me in my life is I've always been in liminal spaces. And by that I mean I'm biracial, I'm bisexual, I am, I'm always in this duality of right in the middle of seeing things from the middle. So it's like I have a hard time with hard lines because I'm like, well, I can see why this way, I can see why that way. Just like being on the crossroads, you look at it from different perspectives.
I have chills. You guys can't see, but I have no, listen, you guys, I'm not even exaggerating. Michelle has been able to engage, like, for example, on my Facebook page, she has been able to engage with people that it was clear to everybody that was watching they were committed to misunderstanding her. They were committed to the argument. They weren't committed to really looking at what was going on. And Michelle has this uncanny superpower, this ability to be able to engage with someone on such a human level, on such a soul level, that she is able to disarm someone instantly and really look and really listen and really just get down to the bones of a scenario. And when you just explain to us how you are this being that takes up these liminal spaces, like I totally got chills as you've never really put it for me that way. And it all makes so much sense all in an instant. I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, duh, that's what it is, because you encompass the dark and the light. You encompass everything, all sides of the spectrum. And so that gives you just this ability to see things from a different perspective. And it is a superpower. And I think it's part of the reason why everybody, I don't know, nobody really knows this, but it's known within Hecate's community, within her following, she chooses you. You don't get to just decide one day that you're going to be a daughter or son of Hecate. It's not that easy, you guys.
Not at all. I mean, people think they can choose her, but you will quickly realize that the connection will not fuse together unless she wants it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that, I think that's a really nice segue into what comes next here. But, Hecate has standards. Hecate has it's almost like a criteria. There are certain, anybody can research Hecate. Anybody can, try to connect with her, acknowledge her, give her due respect. But in terms of this relationship, this personal, deep, like anciently forged relationship with her, she has got to come to you, and I swear on everything, you won't mistake it. You won't be unsure for even a moment. You will know without a shadow of a doubt that this energy has come to you, has approached you, and she's not subtle. For me, my entire life is the strangest thing, and it only made sense later as in young adulthood. I always envisioned two big black wolves, like wolfhounds, on either side of me. When I lived by myself for the first time as a young adult, I would run, like I would jog, and it wasn't the safest neighborhood, but I always envisioned my two big black wolfhounds on either side of me. I've seen them out of the corner of my eye since I was a child. They've always been around. It was never a thing to me. I just thought, oh, those are my protectors. Those are my guides. And then when she came to me, really came to me to claim me, to look at me in my face, just sort of hovering over my bed as an owl face, staring into my soul, I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said,
wait a minute.
I'm listening. I am listening. And she really, she waited for me to mature. She waited for me to get to an age where I was going to be able to work with these energies in a way that wasn't going to be overly destructive. And also to get me to a point, like she waited for me to get to a point where I was able to articulate certain things without hesitation and with confidence. Because before that, it's just like, you just sound like a rambling, crazy person. You know what I mean? So how did she make herself, like when she comes to you in dreams or visions or trance or anything like that, are there, because she does have her set of symbols that she's well known for, the torches, the keys, the hounds. But what has your experience with that been, with her symbols?
Well, I have a very different experience than everybody. Everybody has their own unique experiences. So mine, the way that I receive her, it's usually in dreams. Most of the time it's in dreams. I have a certain way that I practice where I have to remain grounded a lot of times in this reality due to personal reasons. So I have a hard time a lot of times in waking moments connecting spiritually to things, just because of the way my brain is. So a lot of my work is done in the dream world. The way that I know that she comes to me in dreams is my whole, when you have the setting on a TV and you can like darken the screen and the whole screen is dark. My dreams, when she's in it, the whole setting is dark. Like everything is dark. There's no color really. It's browns and blacks. And it's always at night. There's always dogs involved, two big dogs, and there are always two big black dogs, just like you said. I also have a black dog walking around somewhere around my house.
Me too. I also came into possession of a Rottweiler. Yes, the black dog, that's her thing.
But for me, I notice her most when I'm in times of need. I notice that she comes heavily in times of need where I'm lower, maybe I'm a bit depressed or anxious. And something I will notice, very, very similar to what I said earlier, where I notice the paths, like I can look at like the situation in full spectrum and say, like, if I make this choice, this is going to happen. If I make this choice, this is going to happen. I mean, and so on. And she allows me the ability to see the direction that I should take, the most beneficial direction that I should take. And that's when my vision a lot of times becomes a lot clearer.
The gift of foresight, she's granting you the gift of foresight.
Right, like you can stand back and see like, okay, if I take this direction, all this chaos is going to happen. But if I go this way, it might be a better solution for me. So it's mostly in times of distress and in dreams, definitely in dreams. And maybe later on we can discuss, how to tap into that a bit more, because I'm the first to admit, like, you are the shit when it comes to astral travel, to dreams, and just, you're so good at what you do. And, I would love to pick your brain a lot more about that, because I have 4 kids. I'm a busy mom. Like, I don't invest as much time as I would like to the craft. And this is why this video is so exciting for me, because it's like I'm taking time out of my day and I'm committing to our path and just elevating and becoming more in tune with everything. So
well, that's how I felt about this particular video too. I said, this is more than just a regular video. This is a show of acknowledgement. This is an offering to our Mother Goddess, and a thank you to her for all that she has done and continues to do for us. And so what I'm actually thinking, we should make this a series. we should just make this a series and just keep going with this as often as we can. I see absolutely no reason why we shouldn't. And I'm sure people are just going to love this, because you're just so smoking hot, and You know, who doesn't love a beautiful woman? I know I do. So, you know, but no, when it's so interesting to hear you talk about what you experience in the dream world, because, you know, the darkness and the darker tones, you know, and a lot of folks might get this knee-jerk reaction that if it's not all golds and silvers and whites and yellows, that it's somehow evil or somehow bad. And
Right.
folks, what I'd really like to impress upon you is that we cannot be entirely one thing. You know, we cannot be all love and light and glitteriness. We encompass both the dark and the light. And there's this misconception that the darkness is evil. It's not. It's shadow. Okay, it's shadow. It's all of the things that are not talked about, all of the things that are suppressed, not expressed, not given the time, not given the light of day. And so what Hecate, you know, what she really has, well, I can really only speak personally because it's just such a, you know, it's such a personal thing for everybody. But she has shown me that my shadow is just as worthy of integration as my light aspect is. And
Right.
another, you know, what she's really popular for, and I would, next time we do this, I would really love to like get into her actual history, where she comes from. She is the daughter of a Titan. You know, she is the product of love between gods and Titans, and she is older than the Greek pantheon. She is just the one that
Soul.
she is the oldest of the oldest. She stayed after the old gods were run out of the world. She stuck around. She was granted domain over the realms of men, even after the other gods had to leave with the coming of the new religion, the one religion, monotheism. She stuck around. And I get chills. I get chills because she's just so different. She's not just like your, you know, run-of-the-mill deity or anything like that. She is primordial. She is omnipotent. She is something else, you guys. And so one of her main purposes, one of her many functions, was she would delve into the underworld with her torches and with her powerful means of protection to guide lost souls to where they need to go. And now, you know, there are a lot of folks that, you know, we need that. We need that. What about the lost? What about the downtrodden? What about the folks that need help? She, you know, she took it upon herself to go into the darkest reaches of the human psyche, of the world, to help those that needed it. She is the torch in the darkness. She is the light. She's everything. And I could just go on, and I just love her so much. And, you know, there are a lot of people that follow Jesus that say, you know, seek Christ, or, you know, even folks that are like, you know, what about Buddha, and what about this ascended master or that ascended master? And it's not that different from praying to Jesus or worshiping Jesus. Hecate she could be considered like my version of Jesus, although very different archetype, very different energy altogether. But
Right.
some folks pray to Jesus, some folks pray to Hecate, some folks pray to Krishna. So this is a very personal thing, and we don't need our deities and our gods and goddesses to compete with one another. You know, we don't have to do that. Everybody can worship who they want.
And I feel like too, a lot of time, well, most times, the way that Christianity is structured, it doesn't allow for any other deities within the same realm.
Right.
And anything else is just automatically dismissed. And that's something that I challenge, you know, any Christian that is willing to embrace and respect other people's faiths. You have to, that's another, that goes back to, you know, what we were talking about earlier about the fact that, like, I can hold a position and stand in my position that I believe something and still respect the fact that someone else also has their own position.
Mm-hmm.
If there's multiple realities, then I have to acknowledge that. I have to acknowledge that I'm the center of my universe. I'm the center of my own world, and I am the one that dominates my own thoughts. You're going to have that same view. This person's going to have that same view. So who am I to tell anyone else that their version of reality is invalid? Mm-hmm. My reality is my reality, and if I want to embrace a goddess older than time, then
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't have hard lines with a lot of things, and I respect so many different viewpoints, but that is one thing that, I'm proud that we're going to do this, because I think it's such an important thing, along with this resurgence happening, that we're defenders of the resurgence of pagan faiths, because we were burned at the stake. We are persecuted to this day. To this day, I don't know how many times I've been told in the last year that I'm going to burn in hell, that I'm, all these horrible things. And people demonize me, saying that I'm the evil one, but they're the one wishing evil upon me.
Right.
And the thing that these people don't understand about energy work is that any type of energy, negative or positive, I can utilize that. I can use that. I can take that into my energy field, and I can send it back out as I see fit, because I know how to do that. So if you pray for me, wishing evil upon me, or wishing hatred upon me, or even wishing good upon me, I can take that raw energy and use it as I want to. So you're not affecting me, you're not harming me. I have a Bible right up here with Psalms in it that I use for root work. So Christianity does not harm us like
Right.
they does. They utilize that as a weapon, thinking that oh, we're just gonna melt, and just like the Wizard of Oz and shit. And it's like, it's not like that at all.
No, you guys, no. Oh gosh.
Yeah, and they get they're scared, and that's what's sad to me. It's fear-based. A lot of hatred towards other faiths is purely fear-based. You don't educate yourself. I have a friend who's Muslim. She wears a hijab. Me and her hung out all the time in Washington, and everyone's head spun all the time. They're like, the Muslim and the witch. Oh my God. Like,
oh my God, the Muslim and the witch.
This is such a chaotic, combination. And we would just always laugh, because it's like, it's something so personal. Your religion and your spirituality should be so personal. It shouldn't involve anyone else. So as long as I'm not harming anyone, as long as I'm not, like you said, eating babies and doing anything crazy like that, which, like you said,
it does happen, you guys. I gotta fix this. I don't even care. My subs know how I get down. I won't just let that just no, and it does happen, and we are in this really interesting period of time where the bad witches, the bad warlocks, the sorcerers, as opposed to the rest of us that are in the occult world, but we utilize things for the benefit, for the highest good of humanity. The sorcerers, the child predators, all of that is getting exposed. So our challenge here, our responsibility has all kind of been like bumped up a peg or two, because we are trying to make, sort of explain the difference between what black magic is and what practical magic is. And you mentioned when someone throws hate at you, or they want to throw a curse at you, whether they realize they're doing a curse or not, to wish harm on somebody, to verbally speak it, the magical utterance. This is a very potent thing. One of the, Witchcraft 101 is to learn the functionality of energy. So this is a very practical application of witchery, of witchcraft, is to be able to take a negative energy that is being thrown at you and deflect it, kind of in the way a mirror does. And we do utilize mirrors quite a bit in practical magic, to be able to defend ourselves, to shield our literally our homes, our vehicles, to protect us when we're traveling, to protect our loved ones, to help heal somebody who isn't well. All of these are practical applications of witchcraft. They are not evil. They are our birthright. They occur naturally. They always have. And so my fundamental issue with not Christianity, but hypocritical followers of Jesus, is that they say, they'll pray in the name of Christ for you to be destroyed. And I say, well, you got to read up on your history, because Christ was not a destroyer. Christ was not a warlike energy. If you're trying to bring a warlike energy to the table, you're going to want to consult. You're going to want to go down the list and consult with the warlike energies of history. Jesus wasn't one of them. So,
right.
It's comical. We kind of just have to giggle about it and be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. But I know we are a little bit on a time crunch. So what I'd like to do now is give you the opportunity to let people know a little bit about your wonderful business and your amazing products. And you guys, I really can't say this enough. So something like candles, most people don't think too much about candles, where they're getting their candles from, or, what the function of a candle is. But this is practical witchcraft 101, the arts of candle making, the fire element. All of this stuff this is deliberate, this is easy, this is approachable for anybody that is interested. And I'm telling you, there really is no better person to consult with for any of your candle needs, because Michelle pours, literally and figuratively, pours 100% of her energy into these candles, all of her love, all of her intention. And I have a few friends that have already purchased from her. I have a few purchases that I'd like to make as well. And everybody, please, I can't say this enough. This is my honor and my privilege as somebody that has even a semblance of a platform, is to be able to promote my friends and their work. So this is just such a blessing, and I'm so excited to promote her shop for you. So Michelle, tell us what you got going on.
Well, I started my candle company, Roxy Rose Candle Co. Last month. I named it after my daughter. I thought she's got a cool name, a little spunky there. I wanted to do something for me, but something that I could also make my own and grow it, over time, and then at a later time give it to my daughter because it's named after her. So I was, in our craft and what we do, we utilize candles so much, and I was realizing that I was just buying so many candles, always going to someone else to get candles, and it was just getting so costly and expensive to always purchase outside. So I just, I had this idea, and I started pouring my own and started making my own, and people would notice online whenever I would post them. They'd be like, "Oh wow, that's so cool. Can you start selling them? Can I get one?" And I make all different kinds of unique shapes that are, somewhat hard to find online. I make skulls, I make human figures that are, they're not typical to find online. They're a little bit harder to find. If you dig, you can. But I like you said, I pour my heart into it. I take my love and my dedication and my chaos and my mind, because I'm always trying to fix things and do things, and I Virgo rising here, so I'm like, yeah, I'm always like, oh my god, I gotta fix everything. So I needed an outlet to pour myself into, to be able to rid myself of that, angst sometimes, and this was just a beautiful manifestation of all of that chaos. And
do you have like a favorite candle that you're producing right now, or something that you would suggest for somebody that's like just starting out with candle magic, or even a semblance of candle magic?
Well, the go-to I would always recommend if you're just starting out with candles, white goes with everything. White is such a good color to use. It's clean, it's clear. Peace, it promotes peace. It can be used for health. It can be used for healing. It can have so many uses. I wouldn't recommend darker candles if you're trying to do more positive workings, like if you're trying to help with a friendship or rekindle a positive situation in a relationship. Yellows, oranges, something brighter that represents. That's what's so beautiful about magic, is it's so literal. Like if you think about it, it all makes sense. Like red for love,
right? Passion, love, fire.
Yeah, and blue for justice, and just things just make sense. And so white is definitely a good color to go to. My favorite candle that I'm working on right now, I made a bunch yesterday, and I got all these new amazing scents. But it's blood orange. I got a blood orange scent, so I'm making
my favorite.
Smells so good. I'm making some new candles with that, and I'm going to post that on the website in the next couple of days. But yeah, I love doing what I do so much. It has kind of given me a purpose, and something that maybe you don't know about candle magic is it's utilized a lot in root work. And I feel when I'm making my candles that I'm channeling something very ancestral. a lot of times when I'm working, I don't feel like I'm thinking about it. Like I'm just doing what my hands and my spirit are telling me to do. And, you know, alongside the art that I make, the drawings and the paintings that I make also, it's like I'm just a vessel sometimes when I'm creating these beautiful things. And it's been such a blessing to be able to get my chaotic mind together for just a moment to be able to manifest, you know, a website and production. I'm running every aspect of it. So it's a lot of work. It's absolutely a lot of work, but it's very rewarding, very fulfilling, and I just can't wait to see how it takes off in the future. My goal in the next 5 years is to own a production line. So I'm aiming for that. That is my goal right now. I haven't made a ton of sales, but I've definitely, I just got offered to showcase my candles in a local store yesterday, actually confirmed that. So yeah, so many cool things are happening for me. And I just, again, thank you for this opportunity to be able to, you know, promote my business, to talk about what I love to talk about, and to be able to share with the world like our bond of Hecate. I know, I'm like,
I love you. No,
no, but I definitely agree that like it feels like there's so much more to talk about, and like I don't even, what time is it? I don't even want to end. You don't have to.
No, I know. I feel bad. I've learned from experience it's best to keep it at about the hour mark, because we really will just like start losing people. But I'm committed to creating a series with Michelle, and we're going to talk about all things magic, all things Hecate, from a very, you know, practical standpoint, and what magic, how you can apply simple ritual, simple magic throughout your day, from the moment you wake up to going to bed at night. I mean, even certain things like, you know, this came up a while ago, like years ago at this point, but you can glamour your makeup. You can charge with your intention the products that you put on your skin, how you do your hair. If you want to be especially dazzling on any given day, you know, and this isn't about influencing people against their will. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about sneaky stuff. This is about embodying the wholeness and fullness of what we are. And it really works. It really, really works. People tell me all the time, what's your secret? I'm like, my secret is the fact, first of all, I'm a witch. Second of all, it's all from a place of love. And that's what powers us. You know what I mean? So it's my honor, it's my privilege, and it feels like a gift bestowed upon me to be able to provide you with a platform, to be able to promote your business and all the wonderful things that you're doing. Folks, don't just buy your candles from Walmart, something that's mass produced in China or wherever else. When you bring something into your home, something like a candle, every time you light a candle, you don't even realize it, you are creating intention. So be deliberate with your actions. It makes a huge difference. Intention in small things throughout the day, you don't even realize it, but that is a form of witchcraft. That is a form of practical magic, you guys. So please go to her website, give her love. I would take it as a personal favor to me if you guys did so right now. So please go ahead and do that. And definitely look for future videos from Michelle and myself. We're definitely going to be doing a series. And folks, I have not forgotten, I will be recording an extended version of the presentation that I did at the eStudy conference last week. So look out for that. I'm going to provide the link to Michelle's website in the description. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Michelle, say bye to everybody.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. And I promise over time I'll become as eloquent as Jenny is when she talks.
Oh, gosh.
I feel like I'm stuttering.
No,
but
you did so well. Seriously. All right, you guys. Much love. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your week. Until next time. Bye.